Hey everyone, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope you've had a fun weekend. We are talking about sleep. Why? Conveniently, we had this daylight savings time thing happen again, and it usually screws up sleep for you, for your kids. Kind of it's amazing what a difference an hour can make. So I thought I would talk a little bit about sleep as well because the one of the parents in the Tranquility Tribe mentioned some difficulty with their child sleeping. So, thought we would address some sleep because it's really important that we know why we need to really make sense of sleep schedules and getting you and your children to sleep better. So, often our kids are doing some wild things like they're waking up in the middle of the night or they're coming into our bed or they wake up easily to noise or they're doing great and all of a sudden randomly their sleep pattern changes. They won't go to bed or they can't sleep through the night or it just is a big radical change and you're like, "Great, now what?" Well, so first I want to tell you if your child's sleep schedule has altered in some major way, you need to look at what could be a cause because it is not normal for all of a sudden the child who sleeps through the night to all of a sudden not sleep through the night. Something has happened. Some major change has altered that habit, that consistency of sleeping through the night. So let's look at it. Number one, the first thing you should look at is illness. If they're not feeling well, that can affect their sleep. If they are, maybe their stomach's upset or they have a headache or they're getting the flu or some kind of cold, even teething, because teething can cause pain. And even though doctors insist that teething does not relate to sickness, I do not agree. My kids always had a cold when they were teething, and I believe it's because immunity levels get low and it causes them. So, although maybe teething is not the direct cause, it's definitely a relatable cause. Okay. So, what is changing this? Think of what they're eating, their nutrition. Are they having caffeine, sugar? Is any of that too close to bedtime? For you, you should not have any caffeine within 6 hours of sleep. And if you are easily affected by caffeine, that may even be farther down the day, closer to morning time and not after. So caffeine's something to check. Their nutrition, your nutrition, these sugar levels, always those kind of things that cause energy. Do you know warm tea that is not caffeinated is very helpful for sleep? Warm milk, even though that seems like an old wives' tale, actually is not. A warm milk is good for sleep. Chocolate milk that contains sugar and caffeine, not good for sleep, but just a glass of warm milk is. Okay. Um, Sometimes they're taking too many naps, and the naps themselves are too close to bedtime and it's interrupting their sleep. So, how can you adjust their nap? Maybe they've grown out of taking an afternoon nap and they're 3 or even closer to 4 and they seem like they need that nap, but it's causing them not to go to bed till 11 o'clock at night. Your children should be going to bed around 7 or 8. It is important for your children and you to have consistent bedtimes and wake up times. You will sleep better, they will sleep better with a consistent bedtime and a consistent wake up time. So you need to vary it a little on the weekends, just vary it a little. Do not be like, okay, they go to bed at 8, but on the weekend they go to bed at 11. No, don't do that. You're going to be sorry for it. So those all need to be consistent. And if your child is going to bed too late, you need to back them up gradually. Okay. So if they're getting used to going to bed at 10 o'clock and you want them to go to bed at 7:30 or 8, chances are you're not just going to put them in bed at 7:30 and they're going to go to sleep if they're used to going to sleep at 10. You've got to adjust that sleep cycle for their brain. Same with you. If you go to bed at midnight and you're like, I want to start going to bed earlier, if you go to bed at 10, your chances are you're going to be awake because your brain's sleep cycle is different than what you want. So you should back up gradually by 15 minutes a night, not an hour a night, 15 minutes, okay? And it will fix your sleep cycle. Your sleep routine. Oh, other things that can affect kids' sleeps. A new baby, new house, visitors, relatives coming in and visiting, things like that, travel, all can affect the sleep cycle. Okay, so what is important that you need to put in place in a room during sleep? Number one, do not keep noise from happening when your child is sleeping. People do this all the time from babies on up. You want your child to be able to sleep through noise. You don't want them to, when they hear a little sound, to wake up. You don't want to train them to be light sleepers. You want to train them to be deep sleepers. And that means you do not keep your house perfectly quiet so that they will sleep. Because what happens with perfectly quiet, number one, it's unrealistic. Because then it means that if you're there or they have siblings, everybody has to be perfectly quiet at a certain time. That is not realistic. You need to set them up for success, not failure, which means that you do not keep the house perfectly quiet for them going to sleep. That's setting them up for failure and setting your whole family up for failure. Because then you have a light sleeper on your hand. Every little noise they wake up to. And then who's going insane? You are. So don't do that. Make your regular noise. I mean, you don't have to be like, you don't have to have a marching band going by, but do what you need to do. Do the things you need to do. If you're watching a show, watch a show. If you're working at the computer, work at the computer. If there's something you're listening to, an audiobook or something, and you don't have headphones, listen to it. Clean your dishes, do what you need to do. You don't have to be extremely loud, but you should not be perfectly quiet. Just live your regular life at your regular noise level. They should get accustomed to that. What you can do to help is have white noise going on in the room. White noise, you can get on YouTube. You can get machines that make white noise. They automatically block noise and they actually help your brain to rest. Your room should also be dark and it should be cool, which makes a desk fan, not a ceiling fan, because they don't make noise, or they're not supposed to. Some of them do. A desk tabletop fan is perfect because it creates its own white noise and it keeps the room cool. So it actually checks off two things on the list of a perfect sleep environment. What else? A comfy bed, no TVs on, nothing on with blue light. If you are using white noise from YouTube, there actually are videos for white noise that black out the screen. If you can't find one, you're gonna have to like lay a towel or something over that screen so that it doesn't keep a child or you up at night. What's wrong with TV during the nighttime is TV flashes lights. As things are going on, even if there's no volume, there's light flashing. And sometimes those flashes of light, depending on how big and bright that TV is, will wake up a child or wake you up. A nighttime routine is mandatory. It's not just a good idea. You shouldn't go to bed without one. Why? Because it's important to flip our brains from day mode, activity mode to sleep mode. And when you get that routine in place, when you put on your PJs, when you take a bath, when you brush your teeth, that whole sequence, it flips your brain into sleep mode and gets you out of activity mode, and your brain is ready for rest. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure days are active. Active, tired bodies sleep better. If your child is just sitting and watching TV all day or on a tablet without any activity, they are not going to be very tired and they are not going to sleep very well. If you're running around, if you're letting them run around, if you're giving them a lot of activity, their body will be tired at night and they will sleep better. So make sure it's an active day for both of you, not to mention all the benefits of exercise. And play is exercise. Running around, exercise. So stay active. Eat healthy food in, healthy behaviors and attitude out. Eat healthy food for you and your child. Remember that when you're sleeping or when your child is sleeping, you want to have a nice, not when they're sleeping, right before they go to sleep. It's nice to have a little time together. So a little tradition like, well, we read 2 books and then we say what we love about each other. Or we read 2 books and we sing a little song together, like You Are My Sunshine. That's why you sing to my kids. Or you talk about something great that happened in the day, or you talk about something you're grateful for. So you go to sleep with a grateful heart. Those kind of things bond you and your child together. You hug, you snuggle, you give a kiss goodnight, you say, I love you, and you walk out the door. Do not give in to one mores. One more, mommy, one more book. No. One more potty, one more drink, one more hug, one more kiss, one more love. They will one more you to death. Once it's lights out time, it's lights out. Say good night, honey. I love you. I'll see you in the morning. And then in the morning, you're like, it's morning. So be all excited. So they can relate nighttime, morning to morning. So they know what morning means. Okay. And one last thing for you adults. There are 2 things that beds should be used for, because the brain also needs to know that the bed is for sleeping. The bed is not for playing. When we are allowed to play and we do all kinds of things and we jump around and do all these things on our bed, our brain does not recognize that as a sleeping place. So it doesn't register the sleep mode when you're in bed. So bed is very important to be for sleeping. Okay. I know it's not always possible. That's okay. But as much as you can. And as an adult, your bed is for 2 things, both starting with S, sex and sleep. That's it. Don't have meals in your bed. I mean, once in a while you have breakfast in bed. Who doesn't love breakfast in bed? But don't make it consistent. Don't eat in bed. Don't always watch TV in bed. Reserve your bed for those 2 things. You will sleep much better. Okay, so I hope this helped, and go through it. If if you're having a struggle with anything, let me know. If your child is waking up in the middle of the night and they're coming in your bed to sleep, you need to pick a day when that's going to stop, and you need to work to stop it. That means you put them back in. Difficult for a couple days, not forever. Once they break the habit, you break the habit. Okay? In the meantime, guys, I hope this helped. Reach out if you have any questions. Sleep's important. In the Tranquility Tribe, you have a sleep training, a complete sleep training in your back office. Reference it. If you don't see it, let us know. And in the meantime, as always, I wish you days filled with peace, love, tons of laughter. It really is the best medicine. Laughing is energizing as well. So, if you are in the inner circle of the Tranquility Tribe, we do have a group. We do have a group coaching call tonight, not tonight, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. if you're in the inner circle. If you're not in the inner circle of the Tranquility Tribe, that is not part of your package, okay? If you want to be in the inner circle, reach out and we'll let you know how you can join. Group coaching is the first and third Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. And the fourth Thursday is this the this is the third Thursday. Sorry, I'm blanking out. I was like, God, it's the third Thursday already. That just seems crazy to me. Okay. And then next week is our masterclass. Wow, doesn't that seem crazy? Are there? Oh, you know why? Because there are 5 Thursdays in March. That's why. So our next on the 23rd will be our masterclass. Okay. You guys have an awesome day. Be intentional. Review this. If you have any questions, reach out. And I'll see you here next time in the Tranquility Tribe and around the web. Bye-bye, everyone. Sleep well.